Hello there. Welcome to LB24 TV. We are here at the Parliament Square covering today's program from the Parliament Square live for you. There are two programs at the Parliament Square today, and one you can hear the chants probably behind me, the chantings of Grenfell tragedy, and people want justice for Grenfell and what has happened. And the other one here is organized by Socialist Party against the coalition of Tory and DUP in order to push that Corbyn can form a minority government. Now, we are waiting for both the Grenfell demo has started. People have already, they're waving their placards and they're walking. And we are going to start covering and wait for the next demonstration for the anti-Tory demonstration. We have been told that the Labour leaders are going to be here. So Jeremy Corbyn himself is going to be attending at some point of the demonstration. And stay with LB24 TV and we will cover as it happens. But before we go to the speeches of the leaders, and that I think we got some time to start. So I'll take some interviews of the people around, those who are here, who has come here in a beautiful sunny day. They could have done a lot when they could have gone anywhere, nice sunny beach and so on. So we have here, I want to start off with Cheryl. Cheryl lives in Ruislip, and Cheryl is here today to support for the Grenfell victims and to bring a difference. So Cheryl, tell us why you're here today.
I'm here today to fight for justice of the injustice that's gone on at Grenfell Tower and the injustice that's gone on with the legislations that they can get away with practically murder, to be fair. I mean, in retrospect, if I was a multi-billion-pound building company, and I took that tower over to rent it, I'd have to walk through loads of red tape. Why was it allowed that the government can get away with that, or the council that can get away with that, but normal people that do you know what I mean? That they have to do different, it's different things for different people. It's not fair, I've noticed a big change in the community with the way that everything's transpired. Everyone used to walk around in their in their own little bubble, not talking to anyone. Everyone's come together, everyone feels the same. There was no sprinklers, there was no fire extinguishers, the fire doors weren't on properly. There was loads of complaints done prior to this. Nobody was listened to, and it's taken a big fire for the councils to start moving and go into different tower blocks now and start going, oh, is this safe, is that safe, is that safe? Why are they doing it now, not then?
On the night when this happened, it started and it dragged on for several hours. And we know that the fire brigade and the police, they told those people to stay at home, stay inside, don't risk to come out. That's tragic on its own, isn't it? They let those people stay inside and they just got burned. They got killed by the smoke.
Well, exactly. I mean, that is inhumane, and that's what's hurt a lot of people all over the world, I think. To be fair with you, it's touched a lot of people's hearts. I mean, how could you tell everyone to stay indoors when the fire is burning and there's no way out except for those stairs, and they need to come out? They couldn't have stayed in their homes. That cladding was burning all up the sides of the building. They could have put in safety measures. Firemen can only go 200 metres high. Where was helicopters with water that they do in other countries? Where was a landing pad that people could jump out the windows, etc.? Nothing was put into place. The policemen and the fire brigade were told to stay indoors. Also, there was a call to, obviously the family of the tower block that was in the tower block made a call, and everybody from the mosque come running into the tower block to try and save people, and then got apprehended by the police, and they barricaded it all off, and the fireman was there as well, and they were told to tell them to all stay indoors. I don't understand that.
This is actually unbelievable, and well, let's hope, and that's why you're here, that the victims and those who are suffering now, they will get justice. And there has been systematic failures to this. Have you watched the interview, or rather the meeting between the victims and Theresa May?
No, I haven't. No, I
Okay,
haven't.
because what we have seen in that meeting is Theresa May again failed to show sympathy and emotions. She has serious lack of passion. I mean, have you noticed that?
Serious lack of compassion. She only visited the site for about 5 minutes and then moved, like literally just went off with her entourage. There was no compassion from her whatsoever. She's not given any families any money. There was a dustbin guy that I spoke to. His flat was in the fire, and he's been given no money and then had to work on Monday morning because he needed money. He's had to stay at his sister's. There's been no justice whatsoever, no help whatsoever. And then from what I hear today as well is the fact that basically I forgot my
No, bro, no worries. So but Theresa May did mention in the latest interview, I think yesterday, that the government did manage some money for the families who were living there, those who escaped death, of course, and government is relocating them. We have seen Michael Gove coming to the ITV, the morning breakfast, and he was challenged by Piers Morgan quite heavily.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, they're very good in putting up a show and dealing with matters on live television rather than dealing with actual problems.
Yeah.
So that's what we have.
From my understanding, it was stipulated that basically if they did not go outside of London, then they're classically making themselves homeless.
That's one of the things Piers raised in the ITV program as well. So, well, Cheryl, thank you very much
Thank you,
for giving your time. We will now go around and speak to some more people.
Thank you.
So now that was the Grenfell tragedy, one of the supporters who wants justice for Grenfell. The demo started from here and moved towards 10 Downing Street. And we will walk towards the canopy of the Socialist Party and see whether we can find some more people to take interview of. It's a bright, sunny day. It's a lovely day, and a good amount of crowd. We have noticed at least a couple of hundred to 300. So, sir, are you here to join the demonstration? Yeah. You are. So, can I speak to you quickly?
Let me ask a quick question before you do that. Is that fine, yeah?
Pardon?
Let me ask a quick question before you do that. Is that fine?
Yeah, go on.
Yeah. I just wanted to ask you who you with? What?
We are LB24 TV, so we are doing
never heard of
live
that.
television coverage. So
I've
you're
never
on
heard of
TV
that.
live.
Where are you based? Okay, I want to tell the people.
We're based in London.
Okay, first I like to tell the people.
Why are you? Tell us why you're here.
You know, MJ in a 10 bow. You already know how it go. Okay, so let's be serious. So we all came here today to make our voice heard. Do you know what I
And
mean?
heard for what? What are you fighting for? Why are you here?
So essentially what happened was I'm pretty sure you know of the injustices that occurred at Grenfell Tower. So we're all here today to make our voice heard. We're all here today.
Do you know anyone who lived there who lost their lives?
You know, I actually live like 10 minutes away from the block, so it really touched me. Do you know what I mean? So something happened in close vicinity to my house. So do you know what I mean? It shocked all of us. So that's why we was all out volunteering, helping out, and we're here today to make sure our voice is heard. Because you'd agree with me, right, that Theresa May apologized earlier on today, yeah? But you'd all agree with me that apology won't get you anywhere. Do you agree with me? And there's 80,000 homes with the same cladding as Grenfell Tower. So what we need to do right now, instead of apologising, actually get down to action. You know what I'm saying?
Are you sure it's 80,000 homes?
Something like that. Do you know what I mean? I'm not really a statistic guy, but as you can tell from the hairline, but.
Thank you very much. Thank you. So we will go around the square and speak to people. And this is quite significant. So we can see the mandate has been lost. We are looking for it, for sure, and the special relationship. So could we have a chat, perhaps? So you're going to role play as Theresa May, I suppose? You would. So, ma'am, can you tell me how you're going to do coalition with DUP?
Well, I'm pretty desperate to get a government together because, as you know, I haven't got a mandate. So I'll do virtually anything they want.
So that includes the £2 billion to spend wherever they want you to spend?
Oh, certainly, yes, yes. Anything. I'll do anything to stay in power and get a government together.
So, well, you know, why not letting... it is a defeat of Conservative, and you call this election snap election. So why not stepping down from the party and from the position of the Premier?
Well, I think my government needs a strong and stable person to be in charge, and I am that person. Some people may not think so, but I do.
But you may be strong, but you don't have any compassion. I mean, there is no compassion in you when you are meeting the people from the Grenfell tragedy, and people do not see you to be a leader who connects with people. They only see someone who poses to be a strong personality, and that's about it.
Well, I don't think you need compassion to be in this job. I think you need to be strong and stable. And when I face the Brexit negotiators, I don't want them to see any compassion. I don't want to show compassion or feelings. I want them to see somebody like Churchill.
But then again, if you do not show the people you want to do business with, if you do not go and speak with them nicely, or at least start off the discussion nicely, how you can convince them to give you something in return?
Well, because we're British, and we always tell other countries what to do, don't we? We always have done, we always will do.
So what are you going to do with the... why don't you spend some money from the Trident and put down for... perhaps NHS and safer housing throughout the UK?
Oh, well, we've made a promise to the United States of America. My friend over there, Donald Trump, will tell you that to remain friends with the USA, we have to have Trident. We've made them a promise, and they need the money desperately.
Well, Mum, thank you very much for your interview and time.
You're welcome.
So we will go to the... to Mr. Trump.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. So, Mr. Trump,
Yes.
could you please tell us what kind of special relationship perhaps Theresa May can do with you? I mean, Nigel Farage you're a friend of, and Nigel Farage can certainly be a good conduit between Theresa May and yourself.
Well, we don't need a conduit. We've got a special relationship. And that special relationship is built on a principle. And the principle is America first, make America great. And she's for it as much as I am.
So you're suggesting that Theresa May is going to put interest of America before that of United Kingdom?
I'm not only suggesting it, I'm insisting on it. And I think, and I know that Theresa, being the firm and what's the other word she said? Stable. Is that something to do with horses? Firm and stable leader that she is, she'll do as she's told.
So what about you have created a lot of havoc in throughout the United States by stopping Muslims from getting in. So how are you going to, and the court has ruled against you, so how are you going to deal with that?
That's fake news. That's fake news. America is beautiful. America stands for, it's the greatest country in the world. It stands for freedom. Look at our history. Look what we did in Central America. Look what we did in Chile. We stand for something. We stand for freedom. no, but something that's really getting on me is this fake news.
Tell us a little bit about your visit to Saudi Arabia, which apparently you claimed.
I'm very good at dancing. It was a great time, and those are very, very nice people. We have a special relationship, and they're very, very good customers.
So you have sold a lot of arms to Saudi Arabia in your visit.
We've sold a lot of arms there, and they're good friends of ours.
So who are they going to give those arms to?
Well, they want them to keep themselves safe, and when I say safe, from what's going on in the Yemen, that's not very nice there. They've got to look after themselves, and even some of their own population sometimes get, So it's better to be safe than sorry. It's
in other words.
You gotta have
In other words, you're just selling arms to them because they can, kill their own population and a population of other countries.
Well, that's fake news. We're selling arms to them because it's profitable. Let's face it, it's damn good business.
So are you aware? Are you aware that they have been involved, or there are allegations that they are funding ISIS?
I've heard that, and I think that's again is fake news. I've had talks with the king of Saudi Arabia, and he assures me that he's on our side, and that's the important thing. And if they're on our side, they can't do anything wrong, as far as I'm concerned.
What about, there were pictures of Baghdadi, the leader of ISIS, being taken with Benjamin Netanyahu before he became the leader of ISIS.
People change. People change. And who is this Baghdadi, by the way? Where does he live? I've never met him. Are you making this up? You're media, aren't you?
We are alternative media.
Ah. What's alternative?
The kind you don't see on the television every day.
You're alternative. I'm for alternative facts. And as far as Netanyahu, he's a great guy. He's a great guy. He's a great guy. And this Baghdadi, write me about it, and I'll pass it on to.
Well, sir, thank you very much for your time.
Well, as you know, I'm always open to the media, and I want them to listen to me, and I'm against fake news, and make America great. And Theresa, she's great too.
Thank you very much. So now, Stop the War Coalition, Wandsworth. So you're attending from Wandsworth for the Stop the War Coalition. Tell us a little bit why you're here.
I'm here because war is dreadful and ugly. And the people of this country, the white people of this country, the white racist people of this country don't care. And I get this from work every day.
So
who wants to see black and brown people getting bombed and cheering the deaths of people in Grenfell Tower.
I'm quite shocked that you put it in such a straightforward way. Have you seen anyone who has cheered for the people dying in Grenfell Tower?
His name is Paul Ferguson, and the manager of the site is called Steve Butcher.
And they're applauding the fact.
Yeah, they do every day.
And they're people, like, they have a website, they have an organization, or?
No, they probably look up Twitter feeds from extreme right-wing groups like the British National Party and maybe even the EDL as well.
So thank you very much. We are going to now turn our attention to the rally, which went round and came back now to the square from they have gone round the 10 Downing Street and come back. So we are going to now slowly walk towards them. I'm sure there will be people who are going to give speech, and then we will be joined by the Labour leader and others, other political leaders from the Labour Party. So you can see the chanting, "May must go."
no protest. Why do we have to come out here to fight for lives that matter and this social class?
For the people in the streets and everybody else in the country that's age, watching the people go through a double suffering, just losing their loved ones, but also the suffering of a government and an authority, local authority, but does not care. So even yesterday, the independent newspaper reported the new Labour MP are saying that there are people still sleeping in parks in Kensington. Now we have these rumours about they're going to ship everybody out of Kensington, use it as another excuse for more social cleansing. But the big pressure from people like you has meant that today the government announced that they are acquiring 68 luxury apartments quite close to Grenfell that survivors and their families can use. They should have done that from day one. Jeremy Corbyn had demanded that they did that, and they call him a Marxist. Well, now they've done it, so they must be Marxist. Well, of course they're not. But just caving into pressure, people power. It's us, ordinary people, black and white, Muslim and Christian or no faith, coming together in one big fist to tell them, to remind them that we are the many and they are the few, and that's not just at the ballot box, that is on the streets and that is in the workplaces. We stop working, their system halts, comes to a stop. We paralysed London, and they were worried about us paralysing London. That's why Trump ain't coming. Trump was not in the Queen's speech. That is all down to people power. So people stay on the street. Let's keep at the fight and demand justice for the Grenfell people.
May must go!
May must go! May must go! May must go! May must go! May must go! May must go!
May must go!
And to reiterate some of the points made earlier by a sister and by Wayman and by David Lammy MP, who's lost a dear friend of his family. David Lammy quite rightly is asking, why have there been no police raids to secure the evidence? Because these two contractors are busy destroying emails and shredding documents.
They've taken down all their websites,
guys. They've taken down their websites.
They've taken down all their websites. So what does that go to show? That clearly goes to show that they are guilty. Simple. You don't need to be clever to know that they are guilty. Simple. On the day of the first protest, why did they run through the other exit? Because they're guilty. If they were not guilty, they will come here right now and they will share their sincere apologies and say, listen, it was not us. That's how you know they're guilty.
Yes. Yes, sister,
that's right. Can I interview you?
So there's been no
Hi, I'm from LB24 TV.
There's been no
can we have, you know details about it, right? Sorry. So can we just have a quick interview?
They're perfectly within their rights to do that.
Excuse me, ma'am. Excuse me.
But they can't go and arrest Paul Wells, for example, the housing minister, and knew all about the death traps and sat on the evidence for the last inquiry where people died. He sat on it. He is an accomplice to mass murder. Arrest him now. Arrest the leader of Kensington and Chelsea Council, that Pigott Brown. He needs to go and do time as well. Now, if they aren't going to do it, maybe we need to do some citizen arrest.
So,
what channel is this for?
This is LB24 TV.
Is that
IBTV?
Is that just a normal channel? No nationality?
No. Well, it's a regular channel. It's an IB channel for national channel.
Oh, LB. Okay, cool.
Yep. Now, can you please introduce yourself and why you're joining this?
Okay, sure. So my name is Fatima, and I am here today on behalf of my best friend's family members, 5 of them who are currently all unaccounted for. I am obviously they are family relative friends to me.
And they were in Grenfell and they're unaccounted for.
They lived on the 21st floor. We initially was given the false hope by one of the shelters, Westway Centre. There was a list called the Safe Checklist in which they actually had given us false hopes and telling us that they had administrated themselves as safe and therefore they're on the council tenants list. However, we were then told after we made the phone calls to her father and the family to let them know that they're alive, that actually the list is not 100% reliable. Like, that is so absolutely. That's just devastating to know that.
Let me make this clearly, let me understand this, whether I got it right. So you were told that your friends and relatives were safe.
Exactly.
And then now you've been told that the list is not, there could be mistakes on the list.
And that that means they're alive. However, when we then went to all of the we then visited all the shelters, as you can imagine, obviously because we're in Hope, and then we find that they're not in any of the shelters. That's when we went back to the initial shelter and said, hey, hold on, they're not in any shelters. Then the guy was like, says yes, because the list isn't 100% reliable. I was like, why didn't you tell me that in the beginning? And then after that, we literally just have been waiting for public authorities to make contact with her family. Even that took such delay, and they were till now we're actually still left in the unknown, because although they tried to confirm their death falsely with no concrete evidence, we're not going to accept that. So at least some sort of DNA, or at least we highly doubt that their body even still exists, as the building was burned in more than 24 hours. They're probably ashes, not even ashes anymore. So
now tell us, you were saying about the people who designed the building. You were talking about the architects or designers of the building who has closed their business and gone off. Tell us a little bit about the details you have said earlier.
Okay, sure. So correct me if I'm wrong. It's either 2012 or 2014. There was there is a PDF document created which basically shows a general meeting held with the tenants, in which they had given the tenants the opportunity to vote for what material of the cladding they wanted, and it was specifically stated that they did not want plastic, and the majority of the voting was metal cladding. So obviously that just goes to show that the fact that they put plastic cladding just goes to show that their wishes, their desires were just completely dismissed. As at the same time, also tenants had a number of times tried to express their concern about the building being inflammable, about also no safety fire alarms in the building, and also the lifts were faulty all the time as well. That was also completely dismissed. So it just goes to show that there are double standards for people of a particular social class. In this case, it clearly illustrates to you that people who have wealth, or who are seen as the upper class of society, are valued more than people who aren't so wealthy in the society.
You mentioned that they have closed their website and they have closed their offices. What is the name of this business?
To be honest, I don't have the name of the business, but if you follow the social media right now, there's plenty of people who actually managed to print screen one of the websites before it removed its business down. However, as we know, it's two separate contractors.
Can we have a chat with you? Okay, and she has friends and families who were in the Grenfell.
5 family members, which none of them have been accounted for. A family of a mother, a father, and 3 young kids, aging from 21 to 15 and 8 years old. None of them accounted.
And it is her family members are missing.
Her father's obviously brother and his nephew and nieces.
And did the council or anybody contacted her at all?
Nothing. They're literally left in the unknown. But obviously now, the fact that it's got to this extent just goes to show, we need to actually expect the worst now,
What about the Prime Minister coming out and telling everybody that she has arranged funds and she has arranged accommodation and all of that?
People are very distressed about the fact that she actually made a private visit. Like, we completely acknowledge the fact that, she's concerned about her safety, but it's not a thing where she couldn't have at least, stood in front of the public with police there and at least made a general announcement. You have people like Jeremy Corbyn coming to make, even the even the Queen came and went to the families and said her condolence. So it's appalling to know that someone who's actually supposed to be running our country seems disheartened by this whole thing.
Our heartfelt condolences for you and your family members, and we are going to be at it with you on the streets. And be in touch, LB24 TV. So if you have any further information and you want us to cover, please do get in touch. Thank you very much. So we have heard directly from someone who is who got friends who are affected. We will go back to the speakers in the rally demonstration and hear more. But perhaps before we go into the crowd, sir, hiya, can we have a quick conversation, please? Yeah. Well, we are LB24 TV. We are here to find out May Must Go, and we are covering this event. And tell us about yourself, and you belong to Socialist Party, I'm sure. Tell us why you guys are here, why May Must Go now, even though apparently she got a majority. They are the majority party, though, amongst others.
They're a majority party, but they are not carrying the hopes of British people with them. You know, they are supposed to be. They called a general election. She thought she was going to get a landslide of, you know, everyone will support me. And what's actually happened is people want a real change in politics. They're sick and tired of politics for the rich and nothing for the poor. And I think you've seen over the last few weeks lots of new people coming out on the streets and things, and lots of people, you know, around the anti-Trump campaign and everything. There's been thousands of new people coming on the streets, especially young people, sort of saying the world's got to change. You know, the rich can't go on accumulating wealth at the expense of poor people, and you saw that at Grenfell Towers. You've got, you know, millions spent on making the places look nice, and nothing spent on fire protection.
So it's a problem with the psyche of how the society is thinking generally. That's what is in practice, yes, isn't it?
Yes. And I think that's you see it around the world. You know, you saw it with Bernie Sanders in the United States, where thousands of people turn out looking for a different alternative to what they have usually on offer. And you're seeing it, I think, around the world, of people being fed up. You know, even with Macron in France, you've just seen, you know, I don't particularly agree with the guy's politics, but what people are saying is that he's different, and that he seems to be offering something different. And the traditional parties got wiped out in France. And I just don't think people want to continue in the same way. And the system, the whole system is so completely wrong. You know, even from with global warming and things like that, they just continually pay lip service to it, and it gets, and the world is going further down the hill in terms of the climate. And there is no, under the capitalist system, there doesn't seem to be any hope.
So what is the solution from your point of view right now for the United Kingdom? I mean, how can United Kingdom rectify any of the ills of the society that we are seeing, like Grenfell and so on?
I don't think it is just one country that can rectify the ills, but what we can do is organise where we are and sort of say inequalities in society have got to change, that the wealth has got to be redistributed. You've got to have a society that represents people.
But how would Corbyn coming to power ensure that wealth is redistributed? Because there is a general feeling, doesn't matter who you vote in, everything remains the same. The people who pull the strings from the background, the people, they remain the same, policies remain the same, you just change your face. And why wouldn't Corbyn be just a change of face?
He would improve change of face, but without a doubt, than what we got now. But as you said, he will maintain the present system. That's what where we differ from Jeremy Corbyn and the Labour Party. We would totally change the system for socialism, a party organised by the people for the people, basically. You know, we would go further than Jeremy Corbyn. Jeremy Corbyn is an improvement on the current trend, but it's not. He won't, you know, at the end of the day, it's big business that runs society, not Parliament.
Well, thank you very much for your time. We have seen today from Queen's speech, the Queen was very clear in saying Labour did not win the election, but Labour certainly did drag the government to the left. That's a very, very strong comment coming from the Queen. And that is the reality, and that is why we see people have from pretty much all walks of life, wherever you go, Tories are really losing ground as time is passing. It's a question of time till the next election, and we are going to close our live coverage of the event from LB24 TV for now. Thank you very much for being with us. This is Naufal Zamir covering from LB24 TV. Thank you.